Engineering and Masters in Biostatistics from National Institute of Epidemiology. With a strong foundation in statistical methodologies and data analytics, they have amassed valuable experience in biostatistics, SAS programming, Python, automation, particularly in the domain of clinical trial disclosure. Currently, Mr. Johnny serves as a benchmarking expert in clinical trial transparency team at GlaxoSmithKline, commonly called GSK, where their part is a crucial role in driving insights, ensuring compliance, and enhancing transparency in clinical research. Their expertise in leveraging automation and analytical has significantly contributed to optimizing clinical trial reporting and benchmarking practices. Today, Mr. Jenny is here to share the insights and experience and providing deeper understanding of evolving landscape in clinical trial transparency, automation, and data-driven decision making. There is a wealth of knowledge and practice. Expertise will undoubtedly be invaluable to all of us. I will extend my welcome to Mr. Jani, Senior Associate, GlaxoSmithKline, Bangalore. Welcome, sir.
Once again.
Hello, am I audible now? Hello.
Yes, Jenny. You are
Ah,
highly audible. You are audible, very clear.
okay. Thank you.
And
Thank you both of yes, sir. Tell me.
Jenny, before the startup session, I would like to introduce the participant of this faculty development program to you. Here we have participants from different universities, colleges all over the India. And also we have a composition like different discipline have been accumulated here. We've faculties from biotechnology, biomedical engineering, and few faculties from computer science, chemical engineering as well. So this platform is helping the faculty members to understand how far the machine learning and the artificial intelligence can be integrated in health sector, as well as how far the computation tools is helping the analysis of different clinical database. Uh, in this view, we would like to have from you, Jenny.
Okay,
And
sir.
Mr. Jenny, now the forum is for yours, and we are happy to hear you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome and giving information about the participants. Hi, everyone. So we will today see about the application of AI in clinical trial. I will share my screen. Um, 1 minute. The screen is loading.
No problem. No problem.
Let me know once the screen is visible. Is it visible now?
Yes, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Jenny, it is
Screen is
highly
visible, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Okay, so we will see today about the application of AI in clinical trials. So before going to application, we will see
Sorry
what
to
is.
interrupt you, Jenny. The screen is in, it is not in a presentation mode. Uh, we could see the presentation slide, but it is not in presentation mode. Yeah.
I kept it in presentation mode, but it is taking time to load, I guess. But
Okay.
I'm not sure. Okay, I have put it in slideshow. It is fine, right? Slideshow. Hello.
Yes, if it is in slide, so it would be fine, Mr. Jenny.
But okay, sir. Okay, sir. But I don't know
Okay.
how it is displayed in other computers.
Okay. In your computer, it is in slideshow mode, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Actually, you shared only the document, I guess. If you could share the whole screen, it would be fine. We could also see the
Okay.
slideshow mode. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I think
Yeah.
now it
It's
will
now.
be fine.
Yes, Mr. Jenny, it is perfect. We can start now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So we will see about the application of AI in clinical trials. Before that, we will see what is artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is nothing but it is the combination of computer science and also mathematics, which can perform a certain task where human intervention required. So wherever there is a need of human intervention, we can apply the artificial intelligence using some computer power and some mathematical models. So we will see how this artificial intelligence helps in clinical trials in order to save the time and manpower. Okay, so before going to application, we will see some of the major market players in artificial intelligence. I have just put three examples here. One is AstraZeneca. They are using artificial intelligence to discover a potential new drugs for chronic kidney disease. And another, it is not a pharma company; it is a CRO. They are using a real world evidence service for precision oncology. Real world evidence means they collected data from various sources like electronic health records or some or social media, and then they will collect the data from various sources, and then they will make a decision. And then another example is Path AI. They use a AI model to identify a biomarker of imaging using a deep learning models. So these are all major market players in artificial intelligence. Okay. Now we will see application of AI in clinical trials. Okay. So we will see where and all AI is used in clinical trial, starting from preclinical research. Preclinical research. Preclinical research, we will see about how AI is used in drug discovery. So before trial starts, how pharma company uses artificial intelligence for the drug discovery purpose, and later in study design means, for example, I will put it in a layman term. Uh, Design is nothing but if there is a clinical trial. In design means they will decide how many number of subjects to be enrolled in the clinical trial, and when the participant has to receive the drug, and when the participant has to stop the treatment. So these are all the basic information about the study design. So simply they will plan about the clinical trial. So we will see how artificial intelligence is used in the enrollment of the clinical trial. And then in a context stage, we will see how artificial intelligence is helping to collect the data from the clinical trial participants. And later we will see how artificial intelligence is used in data analysis purpose. So these are all the application we will see it in today's session. Okay. So first we will start with the preclinical research. So before the clinical trial starts, what pharma company will do, they will select the best drug candidate. Okay. How they will decide the best drug candidate? They have to identify, before that they have to identify the target. Okay. So first step in the drug discovery is target identification. Okay. So our AI application today, it will be around the target identification. I have few examples with how technology is used in target identification and what are all the tools used in the target identification. Okay. Okay, so I hope all the participants are from biotechnology and bioinformatics. So many of you know about target identification, target validation, but even though I will explain on once again. So when pharma companies start a trial, they start with the 5,000 or 10,000 compounds or candidates. But after the preclinical testing, only 1 to 5 molecules passes the process and it will go for the testing. So okay, so we will see the drug target. Okay, what is drug target? If you see in this slide, I have kept different hyperglycemia drugs metformin and then bromocriptine. There are different hyperglycemia drugs. So for each hyperglycemic drug, the target location is different. For some hyperglycemic drug, the location will be like pancreas. For some the target location will be pancreas, or for some drug it will be gut. For some, the target location will be liver. So for each drug, the target location will differ. Okay. So the identifying the drug target is a key role in the drug discovery. Okay. So in older days, how pharma company identify the target identification is they use a phenotype based method. They use a forward chemical genetics method. So it involves a lot of lab oriented process. Okay. It may take a lot of time to identify the best target, but after the evaluation of computer and bioinformatics tool, we are using a reverse chemical genetics method. So where time taken to identify the best target is very, very less. So pharma company can save a lot of time in identifying a target, okay, drug target. So in older days, we use a phenotypic, which involves higher caste. In newer world, pharma company use a computer-based models, which involves lower cost and time consuming. And yeah, so these are all the advantage of computer-based target identification or AI-based target identification. Okay, so we will see what is the use of artificial intelligence in target identification. Okay, so this is the slide where I'm started to use the artificial intelligence model. So here I'm using a support vector machine. Okay, what is support vector machine? Support vector machine is an AI/ML model. It helps to classify whether the protein is a potential target or not. As before, when I start the presentation, I told that in when pharma companies start, there will be 5,000 or 10,000 potential compounds, right? They have to identify the best target, right? How they will identify? They will use the machine learning model to classify whether the particular protein is potential target or not. The model predict output based on the factors like protein descriptors or sequence motif. So if you use the support vector machine in either in Python or you can use it in Excel sheet also, you will get an output like this. Okay. So here in output, you will have a different proteins, and then at last you will the probability of interaction. Okay. So this is the probability value. For each protein, you will get the probability value. Okay. Uh, so based on the support vector machine, we are calculating the probability for each protein. So if the probability value is greater than zero point 0.5, we can decide that there is a good drug interaction happen. We can consider as a potential target. Okay. So using support vector machine, you can identify whether the protein is potential target or not. So this is one of the AAML model. We will see how it can be used in a real life. So again, I will repeat, support vector machine is a AAML model, helps to identify whether the protein is a potential target or not. So what the output it will give the probability value. Based on the probability value, the pharma company decide whether the protein is a potential target or not. Okay, so we will see about the support vector machine. As I mentioned, it is the artificial intelligence model. It is very simple equation. Maybe in mathematics you would have learned y equal to mx plus c, right? It is very similar to that equation, y equal to mx plus c. So we have a SVM equation, f of x equal to w into x plus b. X is nothing but independent vector. So I will explain what is independent variable. X is nothing but independent variable. So X is nothing but we have if you are going to predict whether the target is potential target or not, whether the protein is potential or target or not, that time what is the input we will give? We will give input as a gene expression. Either we will give protein structures or a protein sequence, right? So if you are giving input as a protein gene expression, you have to give a sequence as an input here. Okay, so in X, what you have to give is you have to give the sequence. Okay, either it can be gene expression or you have to give the protein sequences. Okay, amino acid sequences. In later slide, we will see how to feed the input data into the equation. Okay, weightage, it is a normal value. We have to give it as an input. And B, it is a bias. It is the error. You need not to worry. Sometime we will give it as a 0. So we have to feed our amino acid sequence into this data, and then you have to give the drug structure also for a data. So input, what you have to give is you have to feed the input data for drug, and you have to feed the input data for the target. It can be amino acid or it can be a gene expression. So once you feed the data, you will get the value for f of x. From this f of x, we can calculate the probability value by applying the sigmoid function. Okay, we need not to worry about the mathematical notations here. Simply, we are going to feed the sequence data for x here, and then it will calculate the f of x. From f of x, we can calculate the probability of interaction. So this is how the support vector machine will calculate the probability value for each protein. Okay, so once you give the protein structure data as an input value, it will calculate the probability of interaction. Okay, so for each drug and protein, it will calculate the probability of interaction. So this is how the artificial intelligence model helps to calculate the prediction value. So I have one small example. So I have taken a aspirin data. So we will see how this data is used in a real life, not in real life, in a mathematical equation. So I have taken aspirin data. So this is the chemical structure of the drug. You can see the chemical structure here for the aspirin, but we can't feed this character into the computer. Okay, as because computers don't understand the characters like A, B, C. If you feed anything A, B, C, computers or mathematical models will not understand. So in order to make the computer or mathematical model understand, we have to convert this chemical structures into the numbers. Okay, so using some statistical technique, we will convert this sequence to 0 1 0 1 0 1. If certain structure is present, we will put it as 0. If certain structure is absent, we will put it as 1. So there is a mathematical technique. We can use it to convert the chemical structure of the drug into the numerical form where the computers can understand. Okay. Okay. Then this is for the drug data, and another is target data, right? Another is the target, the protein sequence. I have taken a protein sequence. So here the protein sequence also in alphabet, right? you can't feed the amino acid sequence directly into the computer. So here also we have to use some statistical technique where we will convert the amino acid sequence into the numerical vectors. So now our input data, it is in the format of 0 1 0 1 0 1 or 1 0 0 0. It is in the binary vector form. Okay. So now what we are doing is as we seen, the support vector machine equation is nothing but W weightage into X. So weightage, we have some values for that, and X is nothing but our independent variable. X is nothing but drug data and the target data. Okay, now we are going to feed the data here. Okay, so we have the drug data here and the protein sequence data here. You have to simply substitute the value in the equation. Okay, and then we will get the f of x value. From this, we can calculate the probability value by applying the sigmoid function. Okay, so this is how the pharma company uses the machine learning model. For each drug, they will calculate the probability of interaction. Okay, so this is just for one example, aspirin. They will convert the data into the numerical format, and then they will feed it into the ML model, and then they will find the probability value. If the probability value is greater than 0.5, we will assume that there is a good interaction. If it is lesser than 0.5, then there is a very less interaction. Okay, if it is 0, that means it is very, very, very less interaction. Okay. Okay, so this is how we use pharma company use the support vector machine model to predict whether there is a drug interaction or not based on the probability value. Okay, so now we will see. So how pharma company do this SVM model? They won't do manually, like they will not convert all the data. They will use some technology like Python. They will use different softwares to calculate this. So that in Python there is one package called Autodoc Vina. This is open source tool developed by Dr. Verlang. What it will do is this package in Python will calculate the binding score, okay, which will quantitatively measure the strength of binding between a drug molecule and its target protein. Scoring function consider factors such as shape, complementarity, electrostatic interaction, hydrogen bonding, hydrophobic interaction. So it will consider based on different independent variables. These are all nothing but independent variable. We have seen X in support vector equation, right? So based on these factors, we will calculate the binding score. Okay. So if you are using Autodoc Mina for your data, drug and target interaction, then you will get the output like this. You have to simply feed your data in Python in this package. It will give an output like this. You will have a different drug here, and next column you will have a different target, and then at last column you will have a different binding score. Okay, so based on the binding score, you can decide whether the you can find the strength of binding between the drug molecule and its target protein. Okay, so it is one of the easiest tool in Python. Only the installation may be little difficult, but once you install, you can simply feed the data in this tool. It will give you the binding score, okay, based on the artificial intelligence model. Okay. Okay, next is another AlphaFold 2. So this is also a package in Python software. So using this, you can accurately predict the 3D structure of the protein. It helps to understand its function, interaction, and potential as a drug target. What this will not provide you the tables with numbers, it will provide you the 3D structure of the protein. Okay. And also it helps to identify how the protein structure interacts with the different molecules. So this is also another package developed by Google researchers. You can use it for free in Python. in order to predict the 3D structure of the protein. Okay, so I have small questions here. Okay, okay, this is not. Okay, so this is how the pharma companies use the artificial intelligence in for drug discovery, especially for target identification. So we have seen how the support vector model helps to identify the potential target, and also we have seen one example how the data is fed into the equation and how the probability value is calculated. And then we have seen two packages where it can be useful for the drug discovery process in Python software. One is Autodoc Vina. It will calculate the binding score. Another is AlphaFold 2. It helps to predict the 3D structure of the protein. Okay. Next, we have completed the application of AI in the drug discovery process or preclinical research. Now we will see how artificial intelligence helps in the study design. Okay. We will see what is clinical trial recruitment first. Then we will see how the application is used here, how the artificial intelligence is used here. Recruitment is nothing but, so before the clinical trials start, the pharma companies recruit the participants for the patients for the clinical trial. Okay, how the process of identifying, screening, and enrolling participants for clinical trial. Why it is important? Because it is essential for ensuring that trials have a sufficient and appropriate participants to generate and valid and reliable data. Why it is important? Because they can't enroll 5 to 6 participants and then they will you can't collect the data by for 6 participants, and if you collect the data only for 6 participants, then your results may not be very powerful, or it may not be very statistically powerful. In statistics, we used to say if you want to interpret something, minimum you have to collect data from 30 different participants. Okay, so if you want to interpret something like whether the drug is working or not, you have to collect the data from the sufficient sample size. Okay, so ensuring that the correct number of participants in clinical trial is very important. It also involves in the cost cutting also. So it involves in financial side also. So identifying the correct number of participants in clinical trial is very key in financial purpose, and also ensuring whether we have enough statistical power to interpret about the drug. Okay. So, what are all the different stages we will use AI in clinical trial recruitment in finding correct number of participants, and then screening, evaluating eligibility based on inclusion exclusion criteria. For example, pharma companies will not simply hire the participants, right? They will have certain list of inclusion exclusion criteria. Based on that only they will enroll the participants, right? So we will see how artificial intelligence enroll the participants based on inclusion exclusion criteria, and then we will see enrollment, obtaining a consent and enrolling participants into trial. So we will see how artificial intelligence helps in identifying correct number of participants and how it is identifying a participant based on inclusion exclusion criteria. Okay, so we will see what are all the disadvantages of recruitment without artificial intelligence. One is time consuming. It is a lot of manual process involved and higher cost, and then low efficiency and bias scenario. So, what are all the impacts? It may delay the trials and it will increase the cost. If the sample size is more, it may increase the cost also. And participant diversity, challenge in reaching a diverse participants pool, affecting the generalizability of the trial. Okay. So these are all the disadvantages. Now we will see how artificial intelligence helps uh, in the enrollment process or recruitment process. Okay. One is how artificial intelligence helps us. The pharma company, they will build the AI system which will collect the data from electronic health records and genetic information and other sources. So pharma company use the computers or artificial intelligence which collect the data from various sources, and then it will identify the suitable candidates. For example, if the pharma company is conducting a trial on rare diseases, what they will do is getting a participants for rare trial is rare diseases very tricky, right? We will not get enough number of participants, so they can do is they will use the artificial intelligence which collect the data from various sources, and then it will identify a suitable candidates for the rare disease clinical trials. Okay. And then predictive analytics. AI models predict whether the patients are most likely to qualify and participate in enhancing recruitment efficiency. For example, as I mentioned, there is inclusion and exclusion criteria, right? So before the participants enroll in the trial, they have to satisfy the inclusion and exclusion criteria. So what this AIML model will do is they will collect all the vital signs and they will collect the demographic data, and then they will feed the information into the AML model. AML model will go through all the vital signs and demographic data, and then it will decide whether the participants are okay to enroll in the clinical trial or not. Okay. And then patient matching, precision matching of patient to trial based on the comprehensive data analysis, improving the chances of finding the right participant. It is more similar to predictive analytics. Okay. What are all the benefits? Speed, we can accelerate the recruitment process, and it is very cost effective, and it is the more, if your AML model is very perfect, then it will give the accurate prediction and the diversity. Okay. Now we will see how AML models, what are all the ML models, and how the tool like Python software is used for the recruitment. So in this, they use machine learning models like a decision tree and random forest. These are all the classification algorithm. It will decide whether the model will decide whether the patient is eligible to participate in the trial or not. Okay. There is one more algorithm they will use, pharma company use. This is called natural language processing. What this natural language processing will do is it will read the textual data. As I mentioned, electronic health records or social media or different, the data will be in a textual format, right? Computers don't understand the textual data. Computers will understand only binary data, 0, 1. So in order to read the electronic health records, the pharma company uses the natural language processing, where it will convert the textual data into the numerical numbers, and then it will identify the pattern from it. Okay. So these are all the pharma company uses the model for the recruitment purpose. So here I have given certain Python libraries where the pharma company uses these libraries to make a prediction uh, or to in order to read some textual data. Okay. So if you know Python, then it is easy for you to learn. If you don't want Python, you can do the same thing in even in Excel also you can do. Okay. Okay. So okay, let's see some of the startups in US where they focus only AML for the recruitment process. So these are all the list of startup where they uses the artificial intelligence only for the recruitment process in the clinical trial. Okay, there is something called antidote. They use the AAML to match patients with clinical trial based on their medical profiles or medical records. There is Deep 6 AI. They use artificial intelligence to analyze patient data and identify the candidates for clinical trial quickly and accurately. So these are all the startups. They focus only on artificial intelligence for the recruitment process. Okay. So that's all about the application of AI in the recruitment process. Okay. Here, the only one thing, important thing you can remember is there is something called natural language processing. This is the one of the widely used algorithm the pharma companies are using. Even in research centers, they are using this algorithm in order to read the textual data or publication, or if you want to understand anything from publication, or if you want to perform some meta-analysis, you can use this natural language processing. Okay, so keep this in mind. It may be useful for you in the future if you want to read the data, like the textual data which is in unstructured format. Okay, that's all about artificial intelligence for recruitment process. Now we will see how artificial intelligence is used in the trial conduct. During the clinical trial, how artificial intelligence helps the pharma companies. Uh, we will see about sensors, how AI-based sensors and wearable device uses how AI-based sensors and wearable devices improve the patient monitoring. Okay. So, in once the pharma companies enroll the participants, they have to be in a monitor, right? For example, if the pharma company is giving some intervention, they have to be monitored. Their vital signs need to be monitored, or mostly their vital signs need to be monitored, right? Blood pressure, sugar, pulse rate, everything need to be monitored once they have given the intervention. If the trial is happening in the investigational site, it is very easy to monitor the patient. But assume that if it is something like a virtual clinical trial, especially for psychological related trials, once they have most of the not most, some of the psychological trials, drug trials will happen virtually. Okay, so instead of participants in hospital, they will be in home. They will be monitored by the sensors. Okay, so participants will be in their home only. They will receive the intervention, but they will be monitored in home instead of investigational site. Okay. So traditional clinical trial, the participants need to be in a hospital or research center. In virtual clinical trial, especially like the depression drugs or something psychological related drugs, the pharma company uses the virtual clinical trial. Okay, so in that, how the participants will be monitored virtually means they uses the sensors. The participants wear some smartwatch. From that smartwatch or smart device, the vital signs information will go to the pharma companies. Okay, so their vital signs will be monitored virtually. Okay, now we will see the AI-based sensor. For example, the basic body parameters such as heart rate, pulse rate, body temperature, blood pressure, diet, psychological state can be tracked using the wearable device. With the aid of this mobile monitoring device, data can be transmitted to the server, or it can be transmitted to the pharma companies. All these vitals will be transmitted to the pharma companies. Then the pharma companies will use the neural network model to read the vital signs, whether the patient is in a safe zone or not, whether their vitals are in a correct or not, or whether they are having any risk of getting any disease or not. Okay. So we will see one of the wearable camera. So if you see this slide, the patient participant wear the watch like this. What this watch will do is it will also see uh, whether the participants are taking a medication or not. It will be helpful to track whether the participants are taking the drug or not. Because 40 or 50 percentage of the older patient, they do not adhere to the long term medication. Sometimes they forget to take a drug. Okay, sometimes they may take the drug in a later time. So in order to monitor them, they wear a camera. This camera will track the patients whether they are taking a drug or not. Okay, so videos of the participants taking a medications are recorded using a camera from this watch, and then that image will be transmitted to the pharma companies. Okay, uh, once this image is transmitted to the pharma company uses a artificial intelligence model called CNN, convolution neural network. So this is the widely used model used to predict the data from the images. So when your data is in the image format, we can use the model name called CNN, convolutional neural network. It will predict the it will predict whether the participant takes the medication or not. Okay, so this is how the pharma companies monitor the participants virtually. Okay, here the one takeaway message is here the data is in an image format. So we will use the model called CNN. So this will helps to predict whether the participants takes the medication or not. Okay, so this is how the pharma companies uses the pharma company uses the artificial intelligence um, for the conduct stage, trial conduct stage. The application is wearable cameras or smart sensors. Okay. Now we will see how artificial intelligence helps in analysis purpose. Okay. Uh, so in pharma companies, if you see, before the clinical trials start, they will create one document called protocol. So what that protocol is, in that protocol, they will have all the planning information. Okay, planning information in the sense, the it will have information about the drug. It will have information about when the participant should receive the drug, when the participant should stop the drug, and how many participants should be enrolled in the drug, and what are all the objectives of the drug. So all the planning related information will be there in the protocol. Okay, so why they are developing a protocol? Because before the trial starts, if the trial is happening in USA or Europe, the pharma company has to send the protocol or any clinical trial documents to the regulatory authority. Okay, so before the trial start, pharma company will develop this document and then they will send it to the clinical trial regulatory. And also in some countries, they will they will disclose this document in public websites also. Okay, so there are some website you can find the protocol of the clinical trial in public website also. So pharma company has to disclose their documents as per the regulatory authority guidelines. So in since they are disclosing these documents in public, there may be some sensitive information in the protocol. Okay, sometimes they will disclose they will disclose the information about the drug structure, or sometimes some information will be commercially confidential information. For example, some information related to the study participants or some information about the drugs. There may be some sensitive information will be in the protocol. Okay, so how the what pharma company will do is they will use the artificial intelligence model. They will build an artificial intelligence model which read the data from the clinical trial document. So for example, if the document is 1,000 pages, the AI system will read all the 1,000 pages. by line, and it will check whether any sensitive information is present or not. If it is any sensitive information, then what it will do is it will redact automatically. Okay. So one of the application of artificial intelligence here is it will read the sensitive information in the document and it will automatically redact in the documents. Okay. So here also we can use the convolutional neural network. Sometimes it will be in the images, or you can use as the RNN also. So here we will use the neural network model to identify whether the information is sensitive or not. Okay. So this is one of the application in analysis stage. Uh, Okay. So this is all about the application, some of the application of AML in clinical trial. So this is just 5 to 2 to 3 percentage of application of AML in clinical trial. But apart from that, there are so many applications. But I have taken some important application of AML in clinical trial, and then I have presented here. So we are seeing AML in preclinical stage, design, conduct, and analysis. So these are all the application we have seen. So if you have any questions, let me know. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Is there any? Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Jenny. Um, Thank you for your content. Let us have the session for question. Participants, kindly ask any questions if you have to Mr. Jenny. You can also mention your question in the chat box if you could not unmute yourself. So we'll have another 5 minutes time for the discussion. Mr. Jenny, you have a question from Dr. Bhuvanesh ma'am
Okay.
in the chat box. Could
Okay.
you see the chat box? Yeah.
No, I'm not. Yeah, 1 minute. It is loading.
Okay,
Let
okay.
me.
Let me read the question.
Or can you share the screen, sir? Or
Yeah,
okay.
I'll read the question now. Is there
Okay.
any free AI tool for checking bulk docking and simulation? Is there any free
Uh,
AI tool for checking bulk docking and simulation?
uh, Docking, I haven't worked more on the docking purpose. My area of interest in clinical trial is most into the data analysis purpose. I have a very limited experience in docking, uh, but I have some experience using Python. Some of my friends also use Python for the docking, for bulk docking. Maybe I will go through all some of the packages in Python, and I will come to you. Maybe we can connect on offline if you want. We can offline and we can discuss the some of the potential some of the packages in Python which will help you. But now I'm not able to recollect since I my expertise is in analysis purpose mostly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Jenny.
Hmm.
You can stop sharing your screen also. That would help you to see the chat.
I think my mine is I'm not able to click anything here. It is not.
Okay,
It is struck. I'm not sure.
fine. No worries. Any other questions, participants? If you have, please put it in the chat box. And Jenny, if you could tell us what kind of curriculum we could modify accordingly, so that the students could able to understand better when they come out of the 4 years. If any curriculum, uh, uh, any part of the module which can be included in the curriculum, could you mention so that the faculty community would be aware of it?
Yeah, I would suggest for biotechnology, mostly I would suggest SaaS because in pharma company there were a lot of SaaS openings there. And so if they learn SAS is a programming language. It's not a program. It's not a language, but it's a software where they. So if they learn SaaS software and the code, they will be. It will be very helpful for them to get a job. But
Okay.
yeah, and the salary wise also and the career wise also, it is a very good opportunity. AML also, it is very good nowadays. They are hiring from biotechnology, bioinformatics, and a lot of bio students also coming into AML, mostly for biodata. So AML also, if they learn, it will be helpful for their career. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Jenny.
Okay.
Participants, if you have any more queries, you may ask now. We will open the session for another 2 minutes. And a few participants are requesting presentation slide, uh, Jenny. I had,
Okay, so I will share the slide with
yeah,
to you, and you can.
okay, sure. All right, I hope there are no more questions. So we are come to the end of the session 5. I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Jenny for sharing his valuable time as well as knowledge with us regarding the machine learning and artificial intelligence, which has an impact on the healthcare sector. So this session is very helpful for us to mold our students in future orientation. And thank you, Jenny. Thank you for your knowledge sharing. And participants, here we end our session 5. We'll be meeting you in the same link for the session sheets. It will be starting by 7:30. You may be in the link or you may leave, but please join the session before 5 minutes. Kindly fill up the feedback form. This will be acting as an attendance for you. And thank you for your valuable time. And thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Officially, we are winding the session 5 here. Thank you.